All right, so welcome to our very first Q&A session.
Answer the question.
Answer the question.
Answer the question.
Answer the question.
So today we're hitting on some questions that came in through the website. So let's get straight into it. For those that are perhaps scrolling to this video and it was suggested, I'll give a quick and dirty background. I'm an early retiree, age 50, with over 40 rental properties in my portfolio. I've done flips, no partners, no investors, and yes, some of them are even the Section 8 program. I self-manage the entire portfolio, but enough about me. Let's dive into today's burning questions.
Questions? Oh,
Is it possible for you to outline your recommended investment criteria for deciding on buying property versus passing on a property? Or put it another way, how do you know if you have a good deal or not? At what % below ARV do you try to buy at? How much net cash flow do you want per deal? What's your minimum cutoff? What amount do you allocate for cap expenses, basically big purchases, and repairs, maintenance per month when you run your numbers? Do you have any videos on these areas? Well, you're in luck. This is your video
for you.
So these are great questions, and just how I like my content. I mean, great, deep, get into the meat of things.
Burger's really meaty.
So stick around till the end and we'll run through a deal that we literally just closed on today. So number one, knowing a good deal. The first thing to know is identifying a good deal isn't just about the numbers. Though they play a huge part, it's about understanding the property's potential, market trends, and having the right gut feeling toward it. I really like to think about a property like a relationship. Do I want to get into this relationship? I mean, and just like a relationship, there's no perfect guy out there. There's no perfect girl out there. It doesn't exist. And I think if you take this same approach with investing in real estate, you'll be okay. And this isn't dating, this isn't dating.
Ask me about my date.
How was your date?
The dating is the screening process. When you want to get serious in a deal and you're ready to invest, you want as many likable aspects as possible in the deal. So a unicorn relationship in real estate would be essentially new construction with an easily serviceable floor plan, great rental income, and even better financing. So I mean, that's your unicorn. And from there, everything's on a sliding scale as to how comfortable you feel about its issues. Generally, I aim for properties priced well below the after repair value or ARV. Really, I'd like to see them 40 to 50% less than the ARV. This gives me lots of room for potential renovations, profit margin when selling, financing, refinancing. And to be real, I do a lot of deals structured as a purchase and improve. So basically we write our offers as cash, then take it to the bank for financing. Side note here, we actually have the cash on hand if something gets squirrely, and we can still close the deal. Or if we have a short closing date, we can get the deal done too. We just pay cash. But keep in mind, this is a different market again. Much more balanced than it was even just 6 months ago. There isn't a need for you to give the seller exactly what they want. I mean, this is an entirely different ballgame again. There is time for you to do due diligence here. There is time to make a counter offer, to do an inspection, to make a counter even after that. There's time to make a proper deal here. Don't feel pressured to buy an investment property. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not encouraging you to do the old analysis paralysis.
So what do I do? What do I do?
But I am saying wait for something to make sense that fits your budget constraints. Remember, this deal has to fit you. This is your investment. This is supposed to be an asset, not a liability. So let's go back to the good deal part. I like to see cash on cash returns in the first year of 30+%, because with rates where they are, it's harder and harder to make money on that spread of borrowed money. And there's tons of metrics out there. And the point is not to bog you down in the technical terminology, but you want your money providing you a strong, healthy return. But take a common sense approach here.
Common sense. Common sense. Common sense.
If you're putting $100,000 down and your expected cash flow is $200 a month, basically $2,400 a year, then that's a 2.4% return. And I wouldn't encourage that. But if the property's $100,000 and you're putting $20,000 down and your return is that same $2,400, well, that's a 12% return. Then you can start deciding if all the other variables make sense, like mentioned above. But again, I like 30%. I'd also point you to a previous video of mine, the lowball method. You know, it's a great video, and I'll leave it at that. Check it out if you've got interest. I'll put a link here. But remember the old saying, your money is made when you buy the home, when you make the deal, when you buy the deal? Well, it's 100% true. There is inventory out there. You just have to be willing to kiss a bunch of pigs to find the right investment. Also, look beyond the numbers. Look at the neighborhood. Look at its potential upside. The serviceability of the property. Literally everything matters. And realistically, I want everyone to be financially stable before looking at investing in real estate. Have your debt under control. No need in earning X percent on a rental property when you're paying 10 times that in credit fees. Have some money of your own in the game. Trust me, bankers want you to always have skin in the game.
Because I have no skin in the game.
My wife's a banker, and I've learned that from the word go. They want you invested in it. Remember, they're putting up 80% of the deal in most cases, sometimes more. Desired cash flow. Now, in cash flow, my aim, really a minimum of $400 per property. Net cash flow per property is my current minimum, really. But even then, there's reasons to break that rule. Literally, the entire picture matters. Maybe it's a $200 a month cash flow after the rehab. You've got huge equity. You've got decent terms at the bank. You've already updated everything in the home. You feel your CapEx will be minimal for quite some time. So for every guideline, there's a reason to stretch that rule. You've got to do what feels comfortable for you. You know the property, you know the asset. Another key here is to look at this from a longer time frame. Investing in rental property is like collecting pieces of your own puzzle. Each different and unique, each make up your rental portfolio as a whole. Each have separate merits for being in your portfolio. And this is a good time to say, if the investment doesn't have merit, you need to restructure it to find the value or cut it loose. You may only make $250 a month. 3 years later, that income may be $500 a month, or it may be flat. Remember, financial freedom doesn't mean being a multimillionaire, mega millionaire, or billionaire. It means generating enough passive income to enjoy life on your own terms. The reserves. Personally, I stash away 6% for vacancies and another 6% for CapEx. These cover unexpected vacancies for those big unpredictable expenses. And as for repairs and maintenance, this comes from my CapEx. It largely depends on the property's age, but rule of thumb, here's the reason for the 6%. Most of my properties are completely updated prior to going into service, so very often they have new elements. They've been completely updated. Consider the vacancy 6%. That equates to roughly 22 days of vacancy per year. And with an average stay of 3 years, that gives you just over 60 days to refresh and re-rent the home. However, I push my team to have them turned over within 5 business days.
He's really fast.
Also super important here, make double, triple sure you're getting proper deposits for your property.
Get that money.
This is what repairs it when things are broken. The hard truth is there's no right or wrong way to do all of this. There's only what's right for you. We like the Section 8 program as we can get great rents. with a tenant that typically stays in place for 6 years. This is significant when you consider non-subsidized tenants stay in homes for roughly 3 years and 2.5 years in multifamily locations. At the beginning I mentioned story time, and the deal that we just did today. This is a great property. We didn't get this property originally. It was on the market at $140. We offered $118. They went with a higher offer, and like 3 weeks later they come back to us saying, "Hey, are you still interested in this property?" We're like, "Yeah, on our terms," but we also had an inspection factored into there too. So we go and we do our inspection and we're like, "Well, this isn't what you said, and this isn't the condition that it was presented." We get them to back up $10,200 from their original there. So we get the house contracted and done for $108,000. We put $12,800 down on it. It was just a great banking deal there. 20-year fixed at 8.25% interest. Just a great deal. 20-year amortization. The rents on that property will get roughly $1,800 a month. Our cash flow on that property should be about $500 a month. I mean, we're talking $6,000 a year that's predominantly going to be tax-free because of the benefits of owning real estate. $6,000, we're only putting $12,800 down. We're right there at 50% cash on cash return. I mean, slightly under, but that's after you're paying your mortgage, after you're paying your taxes, after you're paying your insurance, and holding 12% for reserves. We're still making money. I mean, and this is just a deal that was on the MLS. We've all heard the Warren Buffett deal. Be fearful whenever everyone else is greedy, and be greedy when everyone else is fearful. Well, I think everybody's pulling in, and there's a lot of fear in the market. I think this house that we picked up in particular, these people who sold it, there's no reason they should have sold it for this price. Had they done the things that it needed, updated the few things, touched up the plumbing, touched up the floors, put some good paint on it, an appraiser's going to go through there and they're going to say, "Oh, this is a $200,000 property."
Is it worth a lot of money?
It's worth a lot.
And I'm being serious. It will appraise for $200,000. There's just a lot of meat on the bone there. But everybody's in this fear mentality right now. So I'm not telling you to, invest or not invest, but I'm telling you to look at some deals. There's a lot of opportunity out there. These are opportunities. We see these as opportunities because it creates cash flow for us. We're playing the cash flow game. We want that regular income coming in month after month, month after month. I mean, that's like a $500 slot machine every month ringing out, So this is simple. Don't get emotional about this. Stay active in educating yourself. Have several perspectives / mentors and create your own style of real estate investing. Don't be afraid to build a strong portfolio of what would be considered base hits. Using a baseball terminology, occasionally you're going to hit a home run.
Hit a home run! High five, everybody!
But this is the way to get wealthy, slow and safe. So for all those aspiring real estate moguls, remember this. It's not about becoming the next real estate mega millionaire. It's about building a foundation for consistent, comfortable income. Lay the groundwork, keep learning, and you'll find your way out of the 9-to-5 grind. So until next time, invest smart, live free.